Hello, dear students. Today our lesson is about the age of the automobile. This is the title of our unit. Let's look at the word automobile. The word auto means self. Mobile is a French word for moving. Automobile means the car that we use every day. The essay that we are going to read discusses the advantages and disadvantages of cars. Now let's listen carefully to the text, then analyze it together. Now, dear students, let's analyze our text. You know that the car is the most popular means of transport, so it's a very famous way of moving around. Okay, Carl Benz is a very famous person because he is the first one who introduced the first automobile working on a gasoline engine, and that was in 1885. At first, this car was not sold at high numbers. Just 25 cars were sold. 25 cars were sold. Then in 2007, the biggest number were achieved, that means the peak, by 54,920,317 cars being sold worldwide. Okay, now to the disadvantages. Let's start with the first disadvantage, which is pollution. Number one, the first advantage, pollution. It is the greatest problem because of chemicals like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and lead. These are the chemicals that cause pollution. These chemicals can cause many results like increase in greenhouse gases, number one. Number two, decrease in the ozone layer. Talking about greenhouse gases, we have to discuss the result of greenhouse gases. These results are, number one, more wildfires. Number two, extreme heat waves. Number three, melting of the polar ice caps. Number four, causing sea levels to rise. The ozone layer has a big importance in our world because it protects us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. Coming now to the second disadvantage, which is severe health problems. They are particularly harmful to the respiratory system. That means that when we breathe these chemicals and they cause for us problems in our health. And here it gives examples, like in the UK, we have premature deaths out of these health problems. And in Holland also, we have the same kind of health problems. And this study was done on children that had respiratory problems. Other health problems, the first one is respiratory, as we said. The second health problem is diabetes. The third health problem is obesity. These problems are very popular between children, and this is a catastrophe. That means a big problem. We can solve this problem in children by walking and cycling, not using the car all the time. And here comes the role of the parents by choosing these healthier options for children. The third disadvantage is the dependence on oil. Oil is important to cars, as you know. And for digging oil, we are harming sensitive environmental areas of the world. that are invaded, that means attacked, by the oil industry that keeps drilling to find this oil. Other problem for the oil is the oil spill that pollutes our seas and water, and of course sea creatures like fish. This problem is very important to discuss, especially in the Arctic. And the one who discussed this problem is Professor Peter Wadhams, speaking about it and saying that it's a very serious problem. And he described it as catastrophe. That means a very big problem. The car, as you can see in the text, is the most famous way of moving around, and this is the meaning of means of transport. It's a way of moving around and it's the most popular way. Then the text talks about Carl Benz, who is also very famous because he introduced the first automobile working on gasoline engine. This car was bought at very little numbers, just 25 cars at the beginning. Then in 2007, it was sold at 54,920,317 cars. Now we have to talk about the disadvantages of cars. The first disadvantage is pollution, which is the greatest problem. And this is caused by the chemicals which are toxic, like the carbon dioxide, the sulfur dioxide, and the lead. These gases cause a decrease in the ozone layer, and also it causes an increase in the greenhouse gases. The greenhouse gases